Welcome to the YouTube channel of the JVS Kannauj. In this lecture, we are going to discuss invertible matrix. Now, what is invertible matrix? To understand this one, let us consider A and B are the two square matrices of the same order. A and B are the two square matrices of the same order, such that if you are going to find the product of AB, that is equals to the product of BA, and that is equals to I. What is the definition of the invertible matrix? The definition of the invertible matrix is if A and B are two square matrices of the same order, such that if AB is equals to BA and is equals to I, then we say that the inverse of A is B, or the inverse of B is A. I am again repeating the definition of the invertible matrix. What is the invertible matrix? If A and B are two square matrices of the same order, such that AB is equals to BA is equals to I, then we can say that the inverse of A is B, or the inverse of B is A. The inverse of A is denoted by A inverse is equals to B, or the inverse of B is denoted by A inverse B is equals to A. Now, if A inverse is equals to B, then what result it can be written here? Can it be written A instead of this B? Can it be written A inverse? Then what result we are getting? A into A inverse is equals to I, or it can be also written instead of this B, it can be written A inverse also, then A inverse into A, that is equals to also I. So very important result we are getting here, A into A inverse, if we are multiplying by any matrix to its inverse, and we are getting an identity matrix, then we can say here that the matrix A is an invertible matrix. Matrix A is an invertible matrix. We can also state a result here, A into A inverse or A inverse into A, here both are same. So if A into B is equals to B into A, it says that it follows the commutative law. So here we can also say A into inverse equals to I, or A inverse into A, it follow a commutative law. Clear? So what is invertible matrix? A square matrix A and B are of the same order, such that AB is equals to BA is equals to I, then the inverse of A is said to be B, or the inverse of B is said to be A. The result, it can be written here, A into A inverse. If you are multiplying the inverse of any if you are multiplying a matrix by its inverse, or inverse of matrix by a matrix, then we will get a result I. So we can say A is an invertible matrix. Now the very important next point is, suppose A is a square matrix. A is a square matrix. How many possible inverse can be possible for this matrix A? With an example, suppose 2 is a number. 2 is a number. What is the inverse of this 2? Multiplicative inverse of this 2. It means the meaning of this is, by which number we will multiply 2 to get 1. To get 1. Then by which number it can be multiplied? It can be multiplied by 1 by 2 to get 1. अच्छा, is there any other number except this 1 by 2? Except this 1 by 2, by which we will multiply by 2 to get 1? There is no any other number. Similarly, in the case of matrix, if A is a square matrix, A is a square matrix, the theorem says here, if A is a square matrix, then it possesses a unique inverse. It possesses a unique inverse. Unique inverse means there will be a inverse. If you are going to find the inverse of this matrix A, then there will be a unique matrix, and that unique matrix is given by B, because we have discussed if A is a square matrix and B is another matrix such that AB is equals to I, then the inverse of A is equals to B, and this B is unique. This B is unique. So we have to prove the theorem here now. We prove that this B is the unique, and the statement says that every square matrix possesses a unique inverse. You have to prove this. Question is clear? Okay. Theorem is prove that every square matrix possesses a unique inverse. Possesses a unique inverse. Let here. To contradict this statement, we are going to take. Let us consider that there are two matrices which are the inverse of matrix A. Let A be a square matrix. A square matrix. And we are contradicting that for this square matrix A, there are two invertible matrices, two matrices which are the inverse of this matrix A. A be a square matrix, and B and C are the inverse of A matrix. B matrix and C matrix are the inverse of matrix A. What will be happen if B and C will be the inverse of matrix A? According to the condition of the invertible matrix, if B is the inverse of this matrix, then we can say A into B equals to B into A, and that is equals to I. This is equation number first. If B is the inverse of matrix A, we have also assumed that if B and C are the inverse of matrix, then B is the inverse of matrix A, then AB into B equals to I. And if C is the inverse of matrix A, then A into C equals to C into A is equals to I. Let us, this is equation number second. What we need to prove here? We need to prove here that for this square matrix A, it possesses a unique inverse. Unique inverse means here B and C are the same matrices. If we will prove that if B and C are the same matrices, then it will be okay. For that case, it possesses a unique inverse here. Okay. Now, we have discussed in the previous lectures that any matrix B can be written as B into identity matrix. If you are multiplying any matrix by its identity matrix, any matrix to identity matrix, we will get the same matrix. So B can be written B into I. Okay? Just multiply this LHS by B can be written, and here B into I. Can this I be written here, from this, the second part, I can be written C into A here. Can this be written? I can be written C into A here. From where? From equation number 2. B is equals to, now here CA. Instead of this CA, can it be written AC? Then B into AC. From where we have taken, I can be written C into A and CA can be written AC. Now this, see here, B into AC, B into AC B is equals to, see from the associative law, B into AC. Now B into A into C. We can use the associative law property. What was the associative law property? If the three matrices are there, then we can take the two matrices here at one time. Then BA. Now from the first, BA can be written AB here, A into B. Or BA can be written, BA can be written here from the first I into C. Okay, now I into C can be written C here. So what we have started, we have started that A and B, for a matrix A, B and C are the two invertible matrices. Then AB equals to B equals to I, AC equals to C equals to I. We have taken that B equals to B into I. From the equation 2, I can be written CA from the associative law. This CA can be written here AC from the associative law. BA can be written now. BA can be written I into C equals to C. I into C equals to C. Then we have proved that the matrices B and C are equal. So this was the point here. If anyhow we prove that the B and C are equal, so we can say here that every square matrices can possess a unique matrix, unique invertible matrix, or every square matrix can have a unique inverse. Thus, every square matrix have unique inverse. A unique inverse. This is the proof of this theorem. Moving to the next point. If A and B are invertible matrices, prove that AB inverse is equals to B inverse into A inverse. A and B are invertible matrices. Then prove that AB inverse is equals to B inverse into A inverse. What is the meaning of this word? A and B both are invertible matrices. If A and B are both are the invertible matrices, then we need to prove that the AB inverse equals to this one. See the meaning of AB inverse equals to this one. We can say if AB inverse we are going to find, AB inverse, let AB is equals to C. Suppose that the A and B are the two matrices, the product of these two matrices will be a single matrix. Let it is your C, and we are going to find the inverse of C. The inverse of C means, what is the meaning? Inverse of C means that the C is also invertible. Those matrices whose inverse can be calculated are said to be invertible matrix. We have discussed in the previous point. So we are going to find the inverse of AB. It means that AB is invertible AB combined is invertible. I'm talking about AB. AB means the product of these two matrices, A individually and B individually. It is given that it is invertible. Now we are talking about AB is invertible. It means AB inverse, we have to prove. It means that AB matrix is an invertible matrix. Okay. Now if AB matrix is invertible matrix, then we can say कि C matrix is also invertible. Then we can say C into C inverse is equals to I. C into C inverse is equals to I. Okay. Just taking this result here. We can say AB is invertible. AB is invertible. What is the meaning of AB is invertible? If AB is invertible, because we are going to find the inverse of this one. It is given that we are going to find prove that the inverse of this one is this one. So it is understood that this is invertible matrix. Since AB is invertible, then we can say that AB matrix into AB inverse matrix, that will be equals to I, because any matrix which is invertible, then C into C inverse equals to I. Any problem? Okay. Now we have to prove here that AB inverse equals to B inverse into A inverse. Just remember one point was there in the case of the properties of transpose. What was the properties of transpose? AB transpose is equals to B transpose into A transpose. What we were doing that case, we are just reversing the order. Similarly, here what is the AB inverse? Here the B inverse into A inverse. Here also the orders are reversed. So now we are going to prove this one. This is just similar to the properties of the transpose in the case of the multiplication of the two matrices. Okay. Now we have also discussed pre-multiplication or post-multiplication. Suppose B and C are the two matrices, and we are multiplying the B matrix with A, like this, AB and AC. Suppose B and C are equal, and we are multiplying both sides of the equation by matrix A. And where is the position? A is at the first position, then A is said to be the pre-multiplication with B. A is said to be the pre-multiplication with the C. And if we will multiply like this, A at the second position, then A is called the post-multiplication with B, and A is the post-multiplication with the C. We have discussed these all the points in the previous session. So what we are going to discuss, A and B are, it is given here that A and B are invertible. If A and B are invertible, then it means that A into A inverse is equals to I, B into B inverse, that is also equals to I, because the inverse of A and B can be calculated. Now what we are going to do, we are just going to multiply by A inverse, because the inverse A is invertible, so inverse will exist. AB inverse, A inverse I. What is this one? Pre-multiplication. Pre-multiplication with A inverse. Pre-multiplication with A inverse. Now for the three matrices, can we use the associative law? Associative law, A inverse into A into B, and that is equals to AB inverse. And here A inverse into Y. Any matrix which is multiplied by identity matrix, that will be your A inverse. You know that A into I is equals to any square matrix multiplied by I, it will give you the same matrix. Now by which law? At the same time we have used associative law. Associative law. This can be written. Now A inverse into A. A inverse into A. Because if it is invertible, so this can be also written like this. A inverse into A or B inverse into B. So A inverse into A can be written. I told you any matrix multiplied by its inverse, it will give you the identity matrix if it is invertible. So I into B. Now it is your AB inverse, A inverse. Again here I into B will be I into B will be B, and that is your AB inverse into A inverse. Now what we need to find AB inverse, then we need to remove this B. One very important point here arises here is, suppose anyhow you have to remove any matrix, then simply multiply that matrix by its inverse. We have removed from A from here. Now we have to remove B from here. Then what will be the next case? Pre-multiplication with multiplication with B inverse. Now pre-multiplication with B inverse means, we can say here, pre-multiplication with the B inverse means B inverse into B, and that is equals to AB inverse, and that is equals to AB inverse, and that will be B inverse into A inverse. Again we can say B inverse into B equals to I, and that is equals to AB inverse equals to B inverse into A inverse. Now I is multiplied to any matrix, it will be the same matrix, AB inverse equals to B inverse into A inverse. This was the theorem. Clear to everyone? So in this video we have discussed the invertible matrix. What was the invertible matrix? If A and B are the two square matrices of the same order, then we can say that A is the inverse of B and vice versa, B is the inverse of A. If A is the inverse of B, then we can write A into A inverse equals to I, or A inverse into A equals to I, or A into B equals to I. Okay? We have also discussed that every square matrix possesses a unique inverse. Unique inverse means if we have taken that B and C are the two inverse of the matrix, same matrix A, then we have proved that B and C are the same matrix. So we can say here every square matrix, if its inverse is possible, then we can say every square matrix in which inverse is possible gives you the unique inverse. The third point is that if A and B are the invertible matrix, then the inverse of the AB matrix, A and B are the invertible matrix, then definitely their product will be also invertible. And AB inverse will be equals to B inverse into A inverse. Okay? Now coming to the next point. Now what is the use of this matrix, invertible matrix? One very important question here. Can all the square matrix gives the inverse? Can all the square matrix gives you the inverse? For if you will just see the statement of the invertible matrix, if A and B are the two square matrices of the same order, such that AB into BA, that is equals to I, then the inverse of A will be equals to B. Now my question is here, if can A be any square matrix? No. All the square matrix do not gives the inverse. All the square matrix do not gives the inverse. Only those matrix will gives you inverse where AB equals to B equals to I, or those matrix which is non-singular. One point we are introducing here, non-singular. We will discuss this point later on. Non-singular and singular are the 2 points here. So here just the one point you have to understand here, every square matrix do not gives inverse. Only those square matrix gives you the inverse whose AB into B equals to I. Later on we will discuss singular and non-singular in the next classes. Okay. Now what is the use of this inverse of a matrix. We have discussed the addition of the two matrices, subtraction of the matrix. We have discussed multiplication of the two matrices. Now, if we are going to find the last point, the inverse of a matrix. How to find the inverse of a matrix? Then there are two methods to find the inverse of a matrix. One is called the elementary operation method and second is called bideterminant method. The determinant method we will discuss in the next chapter. Now in this chapter we are going to discuss the inverse of a matrix by elementary transformation. Inverse elementary transformation. Now, what are the elementary transformation? Just a minute. What are the elementary transformation? Elementary transformation. Let us consider a matrix first. Which kind of matrix? A square matrix. Because the inverse can be possible only for the square matrix. Let us consider a square matrix. Three by three order square matrix. It is also named as a square matrix of order 3. 3 by 3 instead of, it can be also stated like this, a square matrix of order 3. Means that 3 rows and 3 columns are there because we are talking about the square matrix. Inverse of matrix by elementary transformation. What are the elementary transformation first? They are basically 6 elementary transformation. 6 elementary transformation. 6 elementary transformation is divided into two parts. 3 by row, 3 by row and 3 by column. 3 by row and 3 by column. Now what are the elementary transformation by row method? What are the 3 elementary transformation by row and 3 elementary transformation by column? So the elementary transformation, the first elementary transformation by row is stated like this. You can interchange the ith row, interchange of ith row to the jth row, ith row to the jth row. What is the meaning of this one? Interchange of ith row to the jth row. 3 elementary transformation by row and 3 elementary transformation by the column. At the same time we are going to discuss here interchange of ith row to the jth row. Interchange ith, let us consider I is equals to 1 and j is equals to 2. It means that interchange of the first row to the second row. If you are applying this elementary transformation on the given matrix, what this matrix will become? This matrix will become like this. The first row will interchange to the second row. So this will become D, E, F, A, B, C and G, H, I. Can it be? Can it be? This is the first elementary transformation and this elementary transformation is along row. Same time the first can be there. Interchange of the first column by, it means ith column by the jth column. Interchange of the ith column by the jth column. On the same matrix if you are applying, suppose two columns, second column is interchanged by the third column. What will happen? Second column and third column. Here the matrix will be A, D, G. Second and third is interchanging here. Then that is C, F, I and B, E, H. Can it be? This is the first elementary transformation. First elementary transformation along the row and first elementary transformation along the column. Second one. Second elementary transformation says here the interchange of ith row by multiplying a non-zero scalar quantity. By multiplying a non-zero scalar quantity. What is the meaning of this one? by, again I am repeating, the second elementary transformation, the change of ith row by multiplying a non-zero scalar quantity, the change of ith row. Just for example, suppose I am taking here R2, and R2 is changing. How the R2 is changing? By a non-zero scalar quantity. Just for example, minus 2 of R2. R2 change to minus of 2 of R2. What application will be in the case of column? This can be also stated like this: the change of ith column by multiplication of non-zero scalar quantity to that column. And it will Ri change to K of Ri. Similarly, the Ci change to K of Ci. What will be happen if you will apply this operation on this matrix? See here, where will be the change? The change will be where the Ri is tending. See, the change will be where this row will be tend. Where the row is tending, where this Ri is tending to R2. Then there will be change in only R2. R2 means the second row. There will be no any change in the first and the third. This will remain same. D, E, F, G, H, I. And how is the R2 changing? R2 is changing by multiplying all the elements. It means that is minus 2 of R2. Then what we have to do? All the elements of R2 will be multiplied by minus 2. And minus of 2A, minus of 2B, minus of 2C. Same operation can be applied on the column method also. Suppose here C1 tends to P of C2. C1 tends to P of C2. Then C1, where the column is tending, which column is tending? C1 is tending. Then there will be change in only in C1. C1 will only change here. C2 and C3 will remain same. Then C, F, I, B, E, H, and P of C2. P of C1. Where is the change? C1. Then that will be your P of A, P of B, and P of G. The change will be only where the tend is there. Then here the tending is along the C1. Here the tending is along the R2. Now the third elementary transformation. The change of ith row. This is the change. The change is in such a way, Ri tends to Ri plus K of Rj. K of Rj. What is the meaning? It means that the Ri is tending. How the Ri is tending? By adding the Ri to K of Rj. It means we are multiplying the Rj by a non-zero scalar quantity. We are multiplying Rj by a non-zero scalar quantity, and then the corresponding elements are added to the Ri. Just for example, suppose R1 we are tending. I told you where will be the change. Where the tend is there. Where is the tend? R1 is tending. Then there will be change only in R1. There will be no any change in the other rows. So R1 tends to R1 plus 2 of R2. What is the third elementary transformation? This is very important one. The third elementary transformation says that the change of the ith row by adding the row to another row by multiplying a non-zero scalar quantity. Firstly, we have multiplied the another row by a non-zero scalar quantity, and then this row we are adding to that row where it is tending. Now what operation it will be here? If your R1 is tending to R1 plus of 2 R2, I told you where will be the change? Change will be there in only R1. How is the R1 is tending? Then R1 is tending by R1 plus 2 of R2. It means suppose first of all you have to multiply R2 by 2. And is the row 2. If you are multiplying R2 by 2, then it is your minus of 4a. And this minus of 4a will be added to the corresponding elements of this R1. So this can be written d plus minus of 4a, then d minus of 4a. E minus 4b, f minus 4c. And there will be only change in the R1. This will, R2 and R3 will remain same. Minus 2a, minus 2b, minus 2c, g, h and I. This is the third elementary transformation. Again I am repeating the third elementary transformation. How the ith row is changed here. The ith row is changed by adding the ith row to another jth row by multiplying a non-zero scalar quantity. What will be the third elementary transformation along the column? The change of Ci, and how is the change? Then Ci plus k of Cj. This is called the third elementary transformation. The third elementary transformation, 3 elementary transformation along the row and 3 elementary transformation along the column. This, if you will add, then you will get the 6 elementary transformation. This 3 along the row and 3 along the column are said to be the elementary transformation of the given matrix. Now this elementary transformation, this is the transformation, this is a process. Now using this process, what we will do and where it will be applied? This elementary transformation is used to find the inverse of a matrix. The elementary transformation is used to find the inverse of a matrix. Let us consider an example how to find the inverse of a matrix. Some process are here. Suppose A is equals to 2, 3, 1, 5. 2, 3, 1, 5. How to find the inverse of a matrix? How to find the inverse of a matrix? By elementary transformation. The elementary transformation there, for this one, can this A be written like this? A into I. We know that any matrix can be multiplied by identity matrix. We will get the same matrix A. Now A is equals to, it can be also written I into A. Now the use of elementary transformation. In this given equation, you need to apply the elementary transformation on the LHS side. And in LHS side, the matrix A is given. So apply the elementary transformation on the A, which is in the LHS side. And the same elementary transformation you have to apply on the RHS. RHS, the two part is there, I and A. Then the same elementary transformation you have to apply on the I. After applying this elementary transformation to the both sides, when this A becomes I, then the I will also become some another matrix. Let's assume that the I becomes B, and this A will remain same here. So after applying this elementary transformation, means it is possible that if you are applying one time elementary transformation, then directly A will becomes to I, and this can be possible because several times you have to apply the elementary transformation to when A will becomes to I. Several times in several process, the A will becomes to the I, and when A becomes I, then I becomes B. Then what the condition says here, if A is a matrix and we are getting that AB equals to I, and this is the condition AB equals to I or BA equals to I, then we can say here that A is invertible matrix. And if A is invertible matrix, then we can say here that the inverse of A is your B. The inverse of A is B. What is the process? Again I am repeating. Suppose A is a matrix, then every matrix can be written in this form. Apply the elementary transformation on the LHS side of A and on the I on the RHS side. you have to apply the elementary transformation until the A becomes I, and when the A becomes I, the I will become B, and if this condition will reaches here, I equals to BA, this is the condition for the invertible matrix, and if invertible matrix is there, then the inverse of A is equal